Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review, and in this indie comic review I'll be covering issue 4 of Grommets and issue 5 of Redcoat. I'll now get things prepared for the first one that I'll be reviewing. So as we move into first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. As what you see here is actually something that does happen in story, and that's why I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what is happening story-wise with the characters. So after the main character finding out that they have they'll be moving, they try to discuss with their old man why it's not a very bright idea, but of course the mother comes into the old man's defense. So moving towards the middle of the story, he's trying to discuss it with his main friend of the turn of the events that are taking place, and for a little while he's sort of like not taking a bar of it and not wanting to pay attention, and whilst they also have their own issues that they're trying to deal with, he's not seeing, he does eventually get the point across, what he's trying to get across to his friend. And last but not least, there's a bit of a party going on. For the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the area of the story. First things first, do we get any indication as to when it takes place time-wise? Indeed we do, as it's in 1985. The location that it's taking place in is in California, and of course there's still discussions of leaving California to go somewhere else. And the cast of characters, we still don't have the main character's name, which is a real bummer. I think it would really help the story. Maybe even bring it up to an 8 to an 8.5. But we, of course, see the return of Samra, Brian, and a couple of course, the main character's parents. To which I give this story a rating of 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Redcoat, issue 5. So, as we start to move into Redcoat issue 5, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it does, to which I give a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the internal art and also what's happening story-wise with the characters around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. So, as the story begins, we catch up with Simon Pure and also some friends that he's with, including a very young Albert Einstein. And of course we know that there are some cult members that are after him, called the Founders, or the Founding Fathers, which is their cult name, which is quite an interesting cult name. We also get to see quite a bit happening here. But there's also a bit of a twist here towards the end. So jumping towards the middle of the story, we get to catch up with the character of Simon Pure once again, one of the Hemsworth brothers in action in the story. I bring that up because he does actually look like one of the Hemsworth brothers, specifically Chris Hemsworth. And of course he goes to visit someone of importance with Albert Einstein with him. And last but not least, we move towards the end, to which we learn of the very person who has betrayed him, and we come to learn that the Grand Architect isn't George Washington, but one of his best friends, being Benedict Arnold. So, for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10, as I really quite enjoyed the art with the story. It didn't feel too rushed. In fact, it felt like it had a really good pace along with the story. Next is the area of the story itself. On the art, got a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the area of the story. First is the time period it takes place in, which is 1892. The location, of course, takes place in the US. The cast of characters consisting of Simon Pure, the Founding Fathers cult, Albert Einstein, Benedict Arnold, who we learn is the great architect of the Founding Fathers cult in this day and age. And, of course, the name George Washington does turn up in the pages as well. For the overall story rating in this, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.